Today we're going to be discussing having students in health and physical education write their SMART goals. This could be done in the physical education setting or the health classroom setting. We try to emphasize that we can be doing just as much literacy, reading, and writing in the gym as the classroom. Today we're going to be working on students identifying an area of deficiency regarding their health and wellness scores. This student would be choosing to improve their cardiorespiratory or cardiovascular endurance and choosing their PACER test. One of the challenges that we come across sometimes with our students is having them be reflective and identify what areas they need to improve. They may not realize that their PACER score or their curl-ups or their push-ups are below the healthy zone. So I think it's important that as teachers we provide evidence somehow instead of just telling our students you need to improve on this and that. We want to have them do the research and identify and reflect on their own. So what I would recommend is printing out and providing each student with their fitness portfolio and also posting or giving handouts of the healthy zones. We can work through with the students to have them identify which of their scores are meeting the healthy zones and which of their scores are not. Hopefully this student would come across that their PACER score either needs improvement or is below the healthy zone. This could be a student that is doing very well in their fitness scores and they just decide that they really want to shoot for the stars with their PACER score, and that's great too. But I would provide all the students with their portfolios, which should be a normal thing when we go over our fitness scores, that they can write in their scores and they're the ones keeping track. We're keeping track in EFITs, but it's important for them to put pencil to paper and have some ownership of their own scores instead of just running the test or performing the test and we do all the recording. So having the students reflect on this, the student again would choose their PACER score, and what I plan on doing is walking the class or the student or the entire class through how to write a proficient SMART goal. I want to model for them the example of a poor SMART goal, and what I hope is for the class to, in a class discussion, share and think out what's wrong with this goal. I could reference my list down here, my SMART goal chart, where as a class we should be able to identify every part of this, every row of this chart within our SMART goal. So we're constantly going to be checking back here, making sure that by the time we get to a proficient SMART goal, it meets all of those standards. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of switch over to the teacher modeling as if I'm teaching the class to my students. Okay, class, so today we're going to be talking about writing our SMART goals and identifying an area that you would like to improve. This could be an area where you're within the healthy zone and you really want to just shoot for the stars and get the best score you can. This could be an area of your physical fitness that you feel is lacking or you're showing a deficiency. We've handed out your fitness portfolios, so we're going to spend some time going through our portfolios and kind of circling and identifying which of our scores need improvement to meet those zones. If all your scores fall within the zones, that's awesome, but we're still going to choose a test or a component of your fitness that you choose to improve. So for example, when we talk about writing these SMART goals, let's pretend that you chose your PACER test as what you wanted to improve. I have an example here of a poor SMART goal, and this one says, I will improve my PACER test. So as a class, what can we identify right off the bat is wrong with this goal? We should be able to identify that this goal is specific. It's talking about the PACER test, but is missing a lot of components of the SMART goal. This has no time-bound component. This poor SMART goal does not talk about when they're going to be completing this goal. It's specific in talking about the PACER test, but it does lack specificity in how much they want to improve. Just saying you want to improve on something is a very vague and broad term, so let's think about how much we actually want to improve. So as a class, we have come up with a way to improve this statement by saying, I will improve my pacer test by 5 laps. Now this is definitely an improvement. We've made it more specific where we're talking about the pacer test, and now we have a measurable goal that is more specific by saying 5 laps. I'll know that if I got 40 laps on my pacer and I've reached to 45, I've met my goal. If I'm at 42, I still have 3 laps to meet my goal. Now, we're still missing some parts of this to make it proficient. What needs to be added to this goal to make it a proficient SMART goal that makes it specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound? Would this goal be relevant or attainable if I said I wanted to improve my pacer score by 50 laps? Maybe not. If you're giving your best effort, completing a 50 lap or a drastic improvement over a short amount of time is not realistic, and it might not be attainable for all of us. So as a class, we've come up with an improvement to make this a proficient goal by saying I will improve my pacer test by 5 laps within the next 8 weeks. So when we write a goal like this, especially a SMART goal, one of the most important parts is the T, the time bound. We need to know how much work we have left and how long we have until we reach that goal. 8 weeks, 2 months is a great amount of time to where if we really practice this and work on our cardiorespiratory endurance, this may be attainable. 5 laps within the next 8 weeks. Do we only have to run the pacer in order to achieve this goal? Absolutely not. What are some other activities we can do in order to increase our cardiovascular, cardiorespiratory endurance? We could talk about going on a run with our parents, running with our dog, other activities such as swimming, playing in your soccer games, playing basketball, staying active. It doesn't just have to be your pacer test. This goal is specific. It's measurable by our pacer test. Is a very measurable test where we know exactly how many laps we've run. This is an attainable goal, saying that within 8 weeks you're going to be able to run 5 laps. It's realistic for you, and again, it is time bound. So that kind of wraps up our model of our lesson today. Again, one of the biggest challenges sometimes is getting our students started and having them be successfully reflective within themselves, whether you're talking about nutrition or again, fitness scores or self-image, any of the things we talk about in health and PE. Sometimes it's good to have some material to jumpstart the reflection before they can actually start writing.